I love the quote that you sent through, and it's a George Orwell quote,
Yes.
right? And I'll just read it so I'll not butcher, the mighty Orwell. People sleep peacefully in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf.
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Well, I think it's so true. And I quite like a lot of Kipling. It's Tommy this and Tommy that and chuck him out the brute. And Tommy till the guns begin to shoot. You do need, and the problem, I'm very interested in the army. I didn't go in the army, but I've always been very interested in it. And the problem, this is why the discipline has to be so strict a majority of the time. A lot of them are rough men. And you do need rough men on occasions. The parachute regiment is a sort of classic example, but you have to keep them disciplined, otherwise they become a gang of criminals.
Yeah.
But I do think that's very, very true. And then when people bleat about excessive force or whatever, it's very hard. The Royal Marines, they used to say, were the thinking man's paras. They're a shade above, but the parachute regiment are a rough lot.
Yeah, they're the wild.
Yes, but are they controlled? Are they disciplined? Do they do what they're told? This is the trick.
I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and we were talking about violence, and we were saying how, certainly I was born in 95, so I'm a child of the Good Friday Agreement. I've grown up in times of peace. I've never known violence on a wide scale, on a large scale. And the kind of drumbeat of our generation, our schooling, has been violence is never the answer. Violence is never the answer.
It is.
And my friend said to me the other day, well, actually, there comes to a point where violence is the answer.
Absolutely.
And it's bedded into our society. It says, if I turned on you right now and I started wrecking your house and threatening your family, and you yourself couldn't subdue me, what would you do?
Yes.
I'd say, well, I'd like to think I could subdue you, but if we put that to the side, well, I would call the police. It says, okay, well, you're calling for violence.
Yes.
That's what you're calling for in that moment as a solution to the problem.
Absolutely. One of the great, his name's gone out of my head now, philosophers said that war is a dreadful thing, but not having the moral courage to go to war when you should is even worse. And I think Russia, the thing is an example today. How long do we let Russia do what it's doing? Just let them carry on? So what? They're bombing people, and what do we do? I don't know. Do we risk another nuclear war? Would they back down? But not having, to me, it's a lack of moral courage when the United Nations are sitting in Sharm el-Sheikh talking about the weather, and the Russians are bombing all round. I assume the Russians are the bad guys in this. I haven't heard anything to suggest that they're not. I'm always interested in the other side of the story, but I don't think there is another side of the story, as there wasn't with Germany. There wasn't a good side of Hitler, I don't think. But do we lack the moral courage today? I don't agree that violence is never the answer. Of course it is. It was the answer in 1938. Whether it was the answer in 1914 is another matter. You could have a whole historical debate about the First World War. But no, so I don't agree with that. And violence, or the threat of violence, can be a major factor.